Chapter 4, from the novel The Runt Oak, Tales from Over There. Uncle Amos is aglow. I say, boy, they're called colors. I say colors, said a voice, startling Sam, as he looked about for the source which was addressing him. Sometimes it's hard to place a voice in the forest, and who knows the dynamics of hard-to-place voices in the odd place Sam now found himself. Sam picked up his head, which was lost in thought when the voice first became apparent. Stopping, he looked around, and from out of the bushes came a large armadillo, a strange armadillo, like everything else that seemed a little fantastical here, with a pipe in his mouth, of all things. The armadillo came forward and said again, I say colors. Boy, colors. Sam stopped in his tracks and said, You can speak in human talk? At this moment, another thing struck Sam. He too spoke out loud, like a human, by his own reactionary response. What, boy? I say, of course you can talk. You're talking now, ain't you? What? A cat got the dog's tongue? Said the armadillo in the southern drawl. As I was saying, them there are colors you be a-seeing. The mystery of why this place looked so brilliant was answered. You're just used to black and white, since I sense you're not from around here, but the place is found below the grandfather tree. Oh, my deepest apologies. I have not introduced myself. Salutations. I say greetings. My name is Amiss. No, it's not, for I know it well. I mean Amos, Uncle Amos around these here parts, and I've been waiting for you, son, said the armored-covered gentleman. Sam did not know what to say, but his name was not Amiss either. My name is Sam. Well, of course it is, boy, said the armadillo with mirth. Sam got his thoughts together, while the armadillo just stood there, with a twinkle of satisfaction in his eye. Where am I? Why can't I get back the way I came? Why, said Sam. At this, Uncle Amos cut him off with a laugh, saying in a condescending tone, Good Lord, son, all these whys. Don't tell me you're bum-fuzzled again. I say bum-fuzzled. Sam stopped and looked down, then looked up at the armadillo, as a puppy might after he got in trouble. There'll be plenty of time, boy. I say yes, there will. But now I have someone you need to meet, and no time to waste. Allow me to fetch her ladyship from the bushes. And I say, boy, don't be bum-fuzzled in her presence, because time is of essence, and she cannot be in the sunlight for long. Is she a queen of this place? Inquired Sam. She be but a lady, and I'm not talking about some woman you meet getting your Cracker Jacks at the general store, but that be a queen. Though you know her kind, don't you? They reckon not to call any one of them a queen for the sake of free Roman propriety. But I say she is the queen, and remember that, said Uncle Amos with reverence. Sam obeyed as a proper ambassador of his breed and followed behind the armadillo. All the while, Uncle Amos' backside waddled back and forth while he left a scent of vanilla from his pipe behind him, which caused Sam to cough. He be bum-fuzzled again, said Uncle Amos out loud to himself, as he then beckoned Sam to stop. The armadillo then disappeared into the bushes and then reappeared, as a soft light made his return known. This light came from above his nose. Sam slowly approached Uncle Amos as the armadillo quietly motioned for Sam to come forward. Looking down at Uncle Amos's nose, Sam saw a soft glow pulsating under a little parasol. Come closer, little one. Don't be afraid. Such behavior does not suit your character, said a far but distant voice, which rang like church bells on a Sunday. Be careful of the sunlight, my ladyship, said Uncle Amos with tenderness. Please, Amos, dispense with all the titles. All life is just as important as any other. My name is Gloria, and we have been waiting for you, Sam, said the heavenly voice as she lowered the ornate parasol. As the voice revealed itself, Sam swore to hear the choir singing at a frequency only his kind could detect. Below was a glowworm. but somehow much more. And Sam felt good all over. Sam felt the kind of good as when you feel safe, when you are with someone who understands and listens. Now, though, it became Sam's turn to listen with all the senses a dog may call upon, and with endearing softness, this is what the angelic glowworm said. Welcome to our realm. I do not have a name for our realm, because that would be selfish of any one people to feel they are entitled to give a title to everything all experience. My name is Gloria, and there's no need for any more. For those I care for and return my compassion, use Gloria. And I care for everyone to my best ability. Look around you, young one. Don't you feel these people suffering? Sam looked around and saw no people, and looked again to make sure his senses had not failed him, but could find no people. At this reaction, the word bumfuzzled could be heard escaping under the nose which held Gloria. There was a breeze that then said, shh, in unison with a momentary rise of light from Gloria. Uncle Amos felt ashamed and lowered his head. Enough of that, you lovable cottonwood of an armadillo, or I might slide unto the ground, said Gloria in a light-hearted manner. The armadillo adjusted his nose back to a proper level, and before he could smile, the glowworm, with a soft laugh, reminded him that a grin could also cause her to fall off. Gloria then drew Sam's attention back to her with a sparkle of light. Yes, these people, these trees, these blades of grass, even the rocks are people. A person is any living thing, and anything with energy is a person. All is alive in their fashion, despite how enthusiastic they are about conveying this fact of existence. If not, how could you feel energy in a world comprised of black holes sapping the smiles and the tears from happening? The trees which surround you are a perfect example. The linden trees, exclaimed Gloria. So that is what trees, I mean people they are, said Sam, correcting himself. We do not have these people in the world I'm from. Sam then paused, trying to update the files in his nose with a new definition and name. But they are in your world, my innocent one. Admittedly, your kind can smell over great distances, but not as far as the known world allows. Not far enough to smell the ocean's salty tears, the blossoms on the far side of the world, or even across the mountains, blocking the western winds, Gloria said. But they look pretty happy to me. They look pretty and happy, said Sam, perplexed. Then believe me when I say they are not, because looks can be deceiving. The linden people only use their beauty to cloak their fears and sadness, beauty being a shallow veil covering the root of the problem. Yes, their roots, their hearts buried deep in dread. You of all people should smell their problems and not rely on mere sight alone. I remember your people, Sam. They left our world a long time ago. A wise few still recall the day. Volk the Grey led your people from our world to yours. Dogs, wolves, foxes, you, Sam, all of Volk's people. Why did they leave? Asked Sam. Maybe because they could smell too much, the good and bad. You must have felt the energy of the grandfather tree, which courses through his roots and touches all here. Too many voices interfering with your people's need to howl in solitude, I guess, said the solemn but somewhat vague Gloria. Sam had a strange feeling of pride and sadness, and cocking his head to the side, Sam swore he could hear distant howls that echoed within him. At this, Gloria moved her parasol back over her body as she said, My people cannot withstand the sun's rays for long, so let me impart what we need for our meeting today. Follow the path by the sun, which I now must take a break from. Maybe if Volk's people had not chosen to leave, these problems would not have grown so unnoticed till it was too late. Maybe. There are words in the roots and feelings in those words. Follow the path, and you will know what needs to be done in due time, if your smell does not fail you. We here have become blinded by sight, and why you and your nose were called back to us. Now go, son of Oak, while the trail is rich with its scent, And Sam, you will not be alone. Trust your senses and those who will make up your pack, said Gloria as her words faded, while Uncle Amos disappeared back into the darkness of the bushes from which he had brought her. The armadillo then quickly returned, and in a chirpy voice said, "There you go, son. All you need to fetch the truth." Uncle Amos smiled, though it seemed a rather forced smile. "So, follow the path?" "That is what I was told to begin with." "Follow a smell I do not know? That is just brilliant," pouted Sam. I say, boy, that will not do. You heard her ladyship well enough. Why complex the matter? You can only do one thing at a time, son, and I don't have time to learn you, lectured Uncle Amos, now with a genuine smile. Sam turned to the path, which held the sun on its horizon, and looking around said to himself, "Linden people." Sam turned back once again and said to Uncle Amos, "Will I ever see Gloria again?" Uncle Amos, preparing his pipe, looked up and said, "Smell that?" "Vanilla," said Sam. "Dang blasted boy, not the tobacco," grumbled Uncle Amos. Sam sniffed the air again and said, "Chocolate, a touch of hibiscus, and some fruit. Dark chocolate, to be exact, of the truffle variety. Boy, I say, that is Gloria." It was not just the sun that beckoned her to leave, but her tea, you finally smelled, was getting cold. Now remember how to smell. Before Sam could respond, Uncle Amos had vanished. "Well, I might have smelled that if it's not for that confounded pipe of yours," shouted Sam. Sam turned back to the path and started going forward again. This time, instead of just seeing Linden people, he smelt them too.